Hello everyone, welcome to Soul Conscious, and this is going to be the weekend soul weather report for this coming weekend, where we check in with the energies and see if anything has changed from the weekly forecast, since that's done the weekend before. So this is just kind of an update. And I want you to know that these messages are timeless. So whenever you find them, there's probably something in it for you. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the reading. And I hope that you'll enjoy it enough that you'll want to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. So one of the things I want to mention, and I'm not a big astrologer by any means, but I do try to keep up and pay attention to what's going on kind of around us. And I know right now, and for a little while now, we have been in Venus retrograde. Now, to add to that, going into today, going into tomorrow, we're moving into Mercury retrograde as well. So a little bit about both of those. And like I said, I'm not an astrologer, so this is just my take on things. Is the as far as I know, Venus retrograde is really about kind of examining what we want and don't want in love. What do we really love? And that doesn't mean necessarily romantic partners. It's what we love in general, determining what we really are passionate about, what we really love and desire, and what we don't. So really examining those priorities and aligning them for ourselves. And then Mercury retrograde is usually a time to examine and look at mistakes and correct mistakes. So it's kind of an alignment period. So if you experience a lot of disruptions and upheavals during a Mercury retrograde, it's usually the universe kind of trying to shake you up a little bit to get you to look at something. It kind of throws things in your way to bring out things in you that maybe need to be looked at, or to address things that may need to change in your life. It's kind of that path correction, like a correction mechanism is the way I look at it. So if you kind of roll through a Mercury retrograde with little or no disruptions, then you're probably going down the right path. But if you notice that you're having a lot of issues, things are just going wrong nonstop during a Mercury retrograde, it's probably the universe trying to get your attention to say, hey, there's something that you need to really look at right now, and to stop and take time to look at that, So what I wanted to also do is I haven't really discussed this, but I call this kind of an alternative tarot reading, because I do use my own emoji cards that I create, and I do have a deck that I have hand drawn. Now I do use other tarot decks when I go and oracle decks in my process, as far as when I sit down and meditate and connect myself with source and the divine to try and get the messages that I need to put on these videos. I do pull some cards, and I do sit for a little bit and see what wants to come through. So it's not always just what comes up when I pull these cards. So I want you to know it's kind of a robust process that I go through. It's not just pulling these cards. So when you get a little bit more messages in these readings that I'm doing, these soul weather forecasts that I'm doing, it's because I'm picking up on things that, you know, messages and things that I've got from various different sources. So what I want to do is see how these tie in with what I was receiving before I jump on these videos. So I know that from the weekly forecast earlier, you know, that I did last weekend, that going into this weekend, it was looking like we were going to be having, you know, like very upbeat, very silly, very fun, you know, just in a very lighthearted, good mood, you know, like toward the end of the week. Looking more a little more optimistic, feeling a little bit better, maybe setting some things aside so that, you know, we're just going to be in a little bit better mood this weekend. And it looks like that still may be the case. Because this is definitely a feeling good with where I'm at kind of card. Maybe you have taken some time recently to do some reflection and realize that, you know, you are grateful for where you are and the things you have, and things maybe aren't as bad as what you thought that they were in your life, or you have the optimism and desire to make the changes in your life that you want to change. And I know that we're going into a period here soon that, especially toward the end of this month, where we're going to find that it's going to be a little bit easier to implement some of the changes that we would like to see in our lives. And it's going to be not as disruptive and not as hard to do that as it has been with the chaos that's been going on the last couple of years for us. We're kind of moving into a period, you know, a transitional period where things are going to get a little bit easier for us, a little bit smoother sailing. That's what I want to say, kind of smoother sailing. Like for the tarot read that I pulled for myself, it was showing kind of that wanting to move toward a desire that you have contemplated on. So in the, you know, like in maybe the last few months, there's been something that has come up for you personally, and that could be in any aspect of your life, that you want to go after and a new opportunity. And we saw in the weekly forecast, you know, it was all about opportunities, you know, possibly doors opening for us. And I see that it's, you know, what I'm seeing going into this weekend, which is probably part of the mood that's being picked up, is our desire to act upon those desires, to try and bring them into our lives, trying to make that change we want to see in our lives, actually taking action. Because I did pull the Chariot card and the Star card and the Community card. So that really tells me that it's us wanting to move toward what we desire and take action on that in whatever way we need to do that in our lives to make it happen for us. So we're going into this weekend with that kind of an energy. Right now is really a good time if you want to journal or you are creative, you know, really get those creative juices flowing. And however you do that for you, whether that be through expression, through journaling, through art, whatever that looks like for you, to get those imaginative, creative juices going, this is a good time to do that, especially when it comes to our desires and getting that down and kind of cementing it because like I said, we're getting ready to move toward this period of stability. Well, where I shouldn't say necessarily stability, but where it's going to be easier for us to bring things that changes into our lives that we want to change. We're not going to be met with quite as much resistance and challenges that we may have faced in recent times. So, finally feel like this is wanting to. So I'm still getting communication, text, emails, that kind of came up before on the weekly forecast. That card of communication through text, emails, and it kind of talked about it kind of tied in with opportunities that may be presenting themselves in our lives. And it looks like, there's definitely going to be some success around that. But it may pose a little bit, there may be some small challenges around that. And those challenges look like to me that if we stick our head in the sand, if we don't want to take the time to examine what we need to change, or if we get in our heads a little bit too much, we may start getting that feeling of we have too much on our plate. We have things are too much of a burden, and or too much of a challenge that we don't want to persevere to overcome whatever those obstacles may be. It may, be very careful with, if you're the type of person that easily gets distracted or puts stuff off, or struggles with getting yourself motivated, or if an obstacle comes in your way, you get in your head and you maybe don't have, if you're not a person that has a lot of confidence and belief that you can achieve or accomplish something, be very careful with that energy right now. Just know that you do have the power to overcome anything that you want. You want to. It's really the desire, how much of a desire you have within you to make that happen in your life. And if it's like something that you just aren't ready for quite yet, also don't be hard on yourself. It's okay to have setbacks and to take your time and say you're not ready yet. But don't discount the fact that you can accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, because you can accomplish it. Every person, I don't care who you are, has the ability to overcome any obstacle that you face in your life if you're determined enough to do it. So it comes down to believing in yourself. And I know there's a lot of people right now out there in the world that don't have a lot of faith, not only in what's going on around them. They feel like they don't have control of their lives, and they don't believe in themselves enough to make something happen in their life for them. And I want to tell you right now, you do have that power. You have the power to change your life. All you have to do is believe in yourself and know that you can do it. And once you believe in yourself, and if it's as simple as going in and every morning when you get up and look in the mirror, every night, whatever your routine may be, whether it be, like when you're getting ready in the morning, or, if you're brushing your teeth or whatever at night before you're going to bed, look in that mirror and tell yourselves the things that you need to hear to make yourself, believe in yourself, tell yourself that you're worthy, that you're enough, that you can do whatever it takes to bring about whatever you want to bring about in your life. You do have that power. We all have that power. You just have to believe in yourself enough to make it happen. So I want to leave that here. I want to tell you that I love you all, and I appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to these videos and watch them. And I really hope that you'll like and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to doing these messages. They actually are the highlight of, my life right now. I'm very glad that I decided to overcome my fears to do this for you, because this is bringing so much joy into my life, regardless of how many people watch these videos. They really, I'm doing them because they feel good to me to do them for you. And I really hope that you get a lot of value out of them and you appreciate them as much as I enjoy doing them. So I want to leave it there. Joy, love, and light. I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Sunday, around Sunday, for the next week's weekly forecast. Bye.